Nyck de Vries shocked everyone at Monza, and we mean everyone. He subbed for Alex Albon in Williams and scored points. Points finish in a freaking Williams. The funny thing is, this one race just put him above Latifi on the Drivers' Championship table, and now he's managed to impress Russell and Verstappen. Does this mean he'll finally get a place in F1? Stay until the end of the video to find out. First up, Russell and Verstappen sing praises for Nyck de Vries. De Vries has finally been given the backing of fellow Formula One drivers, following his impressive 9th place finish in his debut at the Italian Grand Prix in Monza. Of all the folks who are out there praising him, Red Bull's Max Verstappen and Mercedes' George Russell lead the way. Nyck stepped in at Williams from FP3 onwards at Monza after Alex Albon came down with appendicitis. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the bloke. Mess this up, and you stay as a reserve driver forever. Prove yourself in this one shot, and you get hired by one of the teams in F1 as their main driver for the 2023 season. Well, the Dutchman took the opportunity and quickly settled in. He outqualified and outraced their regular driver, Nicholas Latifi, and ended up in 9th place. Latifi, on the other hand, ended up in 15th place. 4 cars were already knocked out and had to retire. So in reality, out of everyone on the grid, Latifi finished second last. The thing is, this time Latifi couldn't blame the car. They both had the same darn car, so outracing his teammate by 6 positions really reflected well on de Vries, which is leading to some interesting F1 hiring rumors. But we'll get to that later in the video. On top of that, the guy managed to pick up the Driver of the Day award as well. But just putting it out there, this award is chosen by the people. He also received plenty of positive words from competitors up and down the pit lane. What's more, they couldn't stop praising him. Nyck de Vries really impressed everyone, we guess, because these blokes couldn't stop going on and on about him. All of this was spearheaded by the Mercedes driver, who declared that Nyck did an excellent job and that he definitely deserves a spot on the grid. Here's the thing, the Williams driver and George go way back. Standing alongside Max Verstappen and Ferrari's Charles Leclerc, George stated, "Throughout all of our karting careers, the 3 of us raced against him, knew him well, and he was always one of the very best. There's no doubt he's deserving of a place in Formula One. Good thing he might be on the grid next year then, huh? Because it seems like he gets along pretty well with the rest of the drivers." Bad news for Latifi? Keep watching to find out. Russell further stated that there are only 20 drivers on the grid, so even some of the best ones may not get the opportunity to prove to the world that they're so good. However, de Vries took this race, and he certainly proved everything that he had to. Well, de Vries, all we can say is we're happy to see you on the grid next year. Probably, but it's extremely likely. Up next, he even impressed Max Verstappen. Verstappen is a tough dude to impress. Ever heard him talk to his team on the radio? So much profanity is thrown around. He's the best, and he expects everyone around him to be the best too. So it comes as a surprise that even he had nothing but praise for the substitute driver. But hey, Max is Dutch and Nyck is Dutch. Maybe that helped him out a little bit. Verstappen, who had just won his 11th race of the season, was overjoyed to see compatriot de Vries make headlines and cement his place as a full-time driver in the 2023 season. Verstappen started the race right alongside Nyck after taking a penalty for replacing his power unit. This was an event that Verstappen was able to find some humor in, mostly because he still won the race. He noted how unexpected it was to have an all-Dutch row. He further added that Nyck is a great friend of his and that he knows him quite well. Verstappen also stated that the way he was battling in front of him and the way he was defending the 10th position was extremely amazing. For Nyck to jump in and deliver this performance is definitely, it's not easy at all, said Verstappen. The current and future F1 champion also mentioned that he was just absolutely wonderful at defending. It was mighty impressive of Nyck, especially in his first race. Moving on, what are his options? Nyck de Vries has 4 options for 2023 as we speak. We'll get to options numbers 3 and 4 later in the video, but for now, let's discuss the 2 of the best options he has. Firstly, there's Alpine. He's believed to have tested an old spec Alpine this week in Hungary. Alpine needed a driver to partner up with Esteban Ocon after Fernando Alonso moved to Aston Martin. They also happen to be the best proposition so far based on current performance, and they're also in the best position to challenge the top 3 teams. If he signs up for them, he'll be scoring good points every now and then. Now, the French team is keen on recruiting him, but they're also looking at Pierre Gasly, who could be released from his contract at AlphaTauri. The second team we have is AlphaTauri. If Pierre leaves them for Alpine, Nyck may join them, but if he does join the team, he'll be their main driver. It is their most prioritized driver. Hence, if if need be, Tsunoda will have to make way for him. Lastly, Williams versus Formula E and World Endurance Championship. The last team he could go to is, or stay at, Williams. They're kind of done with Latifi. He doesn't score any points and he crashes quite a lot, so he's not driving for them next season. And if he wants to go to Williams, it's a sure shot. They'll hire him in a second. The problem is, he doesn't want to. Out of all his options, that team is the least competitive. Hence, scoring points won't really be something he'll end up doing every weekend. But just as with all things F1, it gets complicated, because the team is well funded now. It's owned by American venture capitalists. Hence, it's on a clear pathway to improve through the midfield. This could be kind of a long-term project that he can work on to improve himself and the team. And then he could pull a Russell and move to one of the top teams. However, the fourth option is probably the least favorable for the guy, and that's not to be in F1 at all whatsoever. As he got hopeless earlier this year, this was when it didn't seem likely he'd get an F1 seat, he looked at other motorsport categories. It's believed that he has a strong option with a Formula E team, which could also turn into a seat at the World Endurance Championship. Nonetheless, the star has impressed everyone very much and has pretty much cemented his future in the sport. Other news. Now let's take a couple of minutes to talk about some of the other things happening in the world of F1. First of all, would Hamilton have won the 2021 championship? So, as y'all know, Red Bull's being accused of overspending the allotted budget by an amount between $1 and $10 million. Now, Lewis Hamilton claims that he's certain he would have won the championship last year if his team too had exceeded the budget cap. The decision from the FIA regarding Red Bull's penalties will come on the Monday after Suzuka. We hope it's fair, because if not, it'll encourage a lot of other teams to exceed the budget cap as well. Let's now talk about Michael Schumacher's car. Do you want to go and get groceries in style? We have just the car for you. Apparently, Michael Schumacher's championship-winning F1 car is for sale, for the absolutely low price of $8.4 million. And no, it's not some replica. It's not some development mule. It's the car he won the championship in. It's everything you'd hoped it would be. A beautiful red Ferrari with over 840 horsepower. So, if you've got the cash, go hurry. Finishing up, what's up with Suzuka's weather? It is raining like crazy at the Suzuka circuit in Japan, and it's expected to keep raining during the race as well. And as we all know, rain is the great equalizer in F1. So if these weather conditions continue, anything can end up happening at the race. This could be the race where Max Verstappen is declared a champion, given that others make a few mistakes as well. He let go of his chance to do that in Singapore. Let's hope that he gets to do it here. But regardless of how strong a driver he is, if it rains, then there's no telling who's going to win the race. That's a wrap for this video. Which team do y'all think De Vries will head to in 2023? Comment below and let us know. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more. See you in the next one.